lot of people is going to disagree with me with this one, but I want to tell you why. Tokyo Racer is number 5 on my list for the worst games I ever played. When I got the game on the Dreamcast, being stuck in just like few major highways, only being able to do so much to cars and stuff like that, um, just it just didn't seem right to me. I just didn't have fun. To me, the game was boring. It was a kind of a you go to it for 2 hours and then you're done with it for 2 weeks. You know, it wasn't like Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. It wasn't like any of the Need for Speeds on PlayStation 1 or anything like that. And that's why Tokyo Racer, biggest reason why it was number 5 on my list. Okay, when I first started Phantasy Star Online Universe, people are like going, well, why would that be your number 4? I know if you don't play the Dreamcast version, then you really don't understand why this is number 4 on my list. It doesn't have the same feeling, it doesn't have the same properties, it doesn't have the same spirit, it doesn't have the same really addictive gameplay that the first one had. I don't know why it wasn't as good as the first one. I don't know why it's number 4. Really don't know why it's number 4 on my list. I don't care for it. I'm sorry, I just don't. You'd have to really get into the first one to understand why this one is just not that good. And I think it's just mostly based on the fact that it's just not like the first one. The same story, the same bosses, and there's a lot of remakes on it too. So I decided it's number 4 on my list. Porsche's being one of my favorite cars in the world. When Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed came out with nothing but Porsches, it was the first time Porsches have been in Need for Speed since the very first road and track version of Need for Speed 1. And also, it was nothing but Porsches, and I was like, I'm all for it. I love this game already. I made a mistake in buying it. The handling most of the time was like driving on ice, and the cops, all they had to do was touch you to pull them over. The tracks were uninspirable. I mean, it's definitely, in my opinion, the worst Need for Speed ever made. It's way overrated. I didn't like it at all. I didn't care for it. Racing against the same cars over and over. There weren't really that many brands of Porsches in it, I don't think. It's been a while since I played it. But it's definitely the worst Need for Speed made, and it was one of the biggest disappointments I've ever played. So that is why it's number 3 on my list. Avatar: The Burning Earth on the 360. Where do I start with this game? Let's see here. The graphics are bad. The gameplay is bad. The story was completely messed up from the original show. I have the review that I did on it on my site. I gave it a 1. I mean, when you have a great series like the Avatar, make sure you make the game at least decent and playable for not only for fans like me, but for fans like my son. I mean, I had to get cheats for it just to be able to play it decently with my son. And half the time when they talk, don't let this video fool you. Most of the time when they talk, their lips didn't even move. They made some kind of spasm in some way. I mean, it was just an all-around just awful game. And yes, I got this from Game Trailers, by the way. But it was an awful game. I didn't like it. I hope they never make another one unless they do it right. At least not THQ, because they're the ones who made this one. Alright, and that's why it's number 2 on my list. Okay, this is true, and I have to repent of this. Yes, I did it. I did play this game, and I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, gamers. I didn't know back then. I was stupid. I was young, and I was on crack. That's it. I was on crack. I was on speed. I was on heroin. I was on marijuana, and everything just messed it up for me. And I'm so sorry. Just please forgive me, gamers. I didn't mean. I know this is the worst game ever made, and I feel so awful for playing it so horribly. What's the word? Abused and just violated from playing this game. And just forgive me. I'm sorry. Number 1 worst game I ever played.